everybody, a very good morning to you. We are live from my hometown of Wigan. It's the fourth and final day of our special coverage looking at the cost of living crisis and how it's impacting the good people of Wigan. Today we are at Robin Park Arena where the Wigan Warriors rugby club trains, beating heart of the town. We'll chat to the team about how they're tackling rising prices as the Chancellor warns there'll be tough months ahead. Joined here by Labour's Lisa Nandy, the Shadow Levelling Up Secretary, and Wigan's local MP. And in just a moment, I'm going to be speaking to the leader of the Lib Dem, Sir Ed Davey. It is Thursday. It's the 19th of May. Under pressure, growing calls for the Chancellor to take immediate action to tackle the cost of living crisis, as he warns of difficult months ahead.
The next few months will be tough. But where we can act, we will.
A matter of life and death, the impact of soaring energy bills on families who rely on medical equipment at home.
If we couldn't literally afford to pay those bills, then I don't know what would happen.
I'm live from the Muffin Man Bakery to find out what rising prices means for Wigan's daily bread.
We're at the local fun fair to ask if it can ride out the cost of living crisis. It was quite a fun day, let me tell you.
Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound.
And homeward bound, the Simon and Garfunkel classic, apparently conceived right here at Wigan Station. Also coming up on the programme for you this morning, wherever you're watching us around the world, as more Ukrainians are evacuated from the Mariupol steel plant, another 2 Russian soldiers will go on trial this morning, charged with war crimes.
Mental health provision is going to be rolled out in secondary schools like this one as part of a new initiative launching today.
Hello everybody, a very good morning. A final day here at Wigan. Look at that spectacular sunrise here in my hometown. In the background there you can see the DW Stadium and you can also see the training ground where Wigan Warriors hopefully will be training ahead of victory a week on Saturday. We'll be what am I talking about? We'll tell you later on in the programme. Meantime, let's start with the Chancellor facing growing calls to do more to help ease the cost of living crisis after inflation hit a 40-year high. But at a speech to business leaders last night, he failed to outline any immediate action. More on what he had to say in just a moment. But first this week, I'm in my hometown to find out how people here are being affected by soaring prices. This morning, I'll be finding out about the impact of the crisis on sport, on culture and hospitality. Let's take a listen to what the Chancellor said to business leaders last night.
The next few months will be tough. But where we can act, we will. I'm proud that under this government, it always pays to work. But right now, we also have a collective responsibility to help the most vulnerable in our society. And so, as the situation evolves, our response will evolve. I have always been clear, we stand ready to do more.
We're here, as I said, at Robin Park Arena where the Wigan Warriors train. They're in one of their final training sessions ahead of a game at the weekend. Chief Exec Chris Rydlinski is here with us now. We chatted to you earlier in the week, didn't we, at the local primary school. Really important for the club to be involved in the local community.
The community is what we're all about. You know, you're at Robin Park Arena and we call it a community stadium. All junior clubs are welcome here, all our fans are welcome here, and as you can see, we're a pretty inclusive and diverse club as well. You know, we love to have our women's team training alongside our senior team as well. It's a really inclusive club.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'm sure we can have a little wander around and have a look at them as we're chatting. We're going to be chatting to some of the players. These are academy players?
Yeah, these are some of the academy players, so they do the early morning sessions.
After you, Adam.
Get the work done before the senior guys come in a little bit later. We obviously have got a famed junior academy for the players that we produce, but it's all about hard work, it's all about honesty and driving each other and demanding the best.
Look at these guys here, Adam, as we're chatting. You've got a game Saturday?
We play in Hull on Saturday in the Super League, yeah, 5 o'clock. The last game before obviously the cup final the following week, which is a huge occasion for the club and the town. So at Tottenham Hotspur, I've never been there before, so really excited.
Being an Arsenal fan as well as a Latics fan, I'm going to say it's an okay stadium. It's a very good stadium. You're in safe hands. Who are we playing?
We're playing with Huddersfield in the cup final. Yeah, it'll be a very difficult game for us.
In what way?
They're a well-coached team. They beat us in the last game. We'll probably
just a warm-up.
Well, yeah. I mean, we will probably go in as favourites, but we're not. We've told the team to prepare as underdogs. It's going to be a tough one for us.
Yeah. 150th anniversary of the club.
Yeah. It's an incredible history. We'll be celebrating that all through the year with events and things, and it's played a significant role in many people's lives, as you know. And I'm thrilled of what we've got planned this year and how it's unfolding. So it's
and what would you say to people who don't understand how important rugby league is to a town like Wigan?
Well, I don't just think it's rugby league. I think it's sport in general. We spoke the other day about how it's an escape from the challenges and reality of society. You know, the football club in the town have done amazing this year with from the brink of administration to getting promoted. We're really proud of them as well. And I think for those 80 minutes or 90 minutes at the weekend to escape the harsh realities of the cost of living is so important to the social fabric of the town.
Yeah. Is it okay if we chat to the players?
Absolutely.
This is Ben and Adam,
Yes, it is,
yeah.
yeah.
Right. And we'll chat to you again a bit later on. But which one's Ben? Ben?
Yeah,
Ben and Adam. Can I get you... I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. I know you're busy. Talk to me. Can I sit on the edge with you? Yeah. Brilliant. No, you sit down. It's fine. I'll just sit here. What are you trying to say? Trying to say I've got a big bottom?
No,
just as long as we're clear. Come over here and then we can both chat together. That's brilliant. Tell me about playing for Wigan. You're an academy player.
Reserves,
yeah. Go on, tell me.
Academy. Yeah, it's good. It's good to represent Wigan.
Yeah. You've been here 6 years?
Yeah, just short of 6 years.
Yeah. How important, because it's difficult for people who don't understand how important rugby league is to a town like Wigan. Tell me what it was like to play in the reserves.
Yeah, I think rugby league as a whole in Wigan is massive. I think I'm from Manchester, so around there we don't really do rugby, it's more football based.
Yeah, of course.
So when coming to a little town in Wigan, I think it's massive. It's like football over there.
Yeah.
I just think everyone works harder. Everyone just loves it. The passion, the fans. It's mad.
Okay, and Adam, tell me about. You've been here 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, tell me about. What's your position?
I'm like half-back, centre, full-back, so anything on the backfield really.
Okay, you're a big lad then. So tell me about what it is like for you to be able to play for Wigan.
It's really good because I'm from a local town called Leeds, so it's like really it's sort of a rival team. It's really good to play for our local team, so you can come. It's only half an hour down the road, so you can come, put all your effort into it and stuff. So
yeah.
So enjoying it.
And how important is sport to young people like you two guys?
It's really good because it keeps you out of sort of bad stuff, and like the top weekends you go in out drinking, you don't really want to do it that.
No.
And, you can sort of enjoy yourself on every occasion, but it's really good.
Where are you from?
I'm from Leeds.
Oh, you're actually from Leeds. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes down the road.
No, I know. That's where the Greater Manchester Mayor's from, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see? Local knowledge. Let's watch those weights, Adam, as you go. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. And I've got Jack, I think, and Zach. Jack and Zach. Hi, guys. You are?
Jack.
Jack. Hi, Jack. Tell me about playing for the team.
It's good, yeah. We've had an alright start to the season. We've not lost a game yet, so hopefully we can carry on that form all the way through the season.
Yeah. Hi, Zach, as well.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning to you. Tell me about playing for the club.
Yeah, it's a good honour to play for the club, and you've got to work hard to be here. And obviously, the first game of the year it didn't work out for me, and I got injured, so I've been out for up to now. So watching the boys, it's good.
Oh, that must be frustrating, though.
Yeah, it's annoying, but
What sort of injury was it?
I snapped two ligaments in my ankle, so it put me out for a while. So.
And how can you train up that I'm just going to be a wounded soldier? I broke my foot. I did nothing exciting except fell over. And it's really debilitating, isn't it? So it must have been very frustrating for you.
Yeah, it's really annoying, especially with all the lads training through the week and then playing at the weekend. But just got to work hard, get yourself back. It's part of the job. So yeah.
There's a game at the weekend. Are you playing in now?
No, it's.
When do you get up to the first team?
Oh, hopefully soon. But whenever I get the chance, I'll definitely take it.
And
with
you're
both
ready?
hands. Yeah, I feel like I'm ready to go up there. But just have to see what head coach says. And if I get the chance, I'll take it with both hands.
Well, I better let you carry on training then, shouldn't I? Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Really
thanks very
appreciate it. We're around all day, so just come and chat to us whenever. Thanks a lot. Adam, I just want to wander back up here as we walk past some of the girls. We're going to be catching up with some of the girls a bit later on. Careful as you walk by her. But before all of that, I just want to bring in the leader of the Lib Dems. I'm not sure where my notes have gone. They were on here. Laurie, if I can grab my notes, they were here. I don't know where they've gone. Meantime, let's bring in Sir Ed Davey, who is joining us now. Hello to you, Sir Ed. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. You heard what the Chancellor said yesterday. Welcome to the hometown of Wigan, by the way. What did you make of it?
I just don't think he's doing it anywhere near enough. He doesn't seem to get it. There are millions of families and pensioners who are hurting now. And we've seen a government that's, first of all, not done enough. And then it's dithering and delaying. And they've got to do something now. I'm really worried, Kay, that people out there are getting more and more anxious about the future. They've heard that this is going to get worse, that we could be entering a recession, that energy bills will go further in the autumn. And they have a government that seems tone deaf.
Can't hear you very well, Sir Ed, but we'll plough on for now. I'm sure we can sort that out. You want a cut in VAT. The argument is that cutting VAT only benefits those who earn a lot of money because they can afford more expensive stuff and they get a better deal.
That's simply not true. As a portion of income, it helps people who are less well off. It helps cut motoring bills. It helps cut food bills. It also helps cut the rate of inflation. And it helps small businesses who are struggling on the high street. Is exactly the right thing to do. And we would pay for it by a windfall tax on the oil and gas companies. So we would deliver a tax cut of £600 to the average family. That's exactly what is needed. It's bold and it's dramatic. I'm proud that the Liberal Democrats are putting forward a constructive, positive proposal. I just hope the Conservatives listen for once.
What's the benefit of doing that rather than upgrading benefits?
Well, there's room to do both. We've also argued that there needs to be some targeted help on the less well-off and on pensioners. We've talked about the warm home discount, which is money that comes directly off people's energy bills. That should have been increased. It should be available to more people. And we've talked about the winter fuel allowance. I mean, the government seem to be attacking pensioners at the moment. First of all, they've reneged on their election promise of the triple lock, which is costing pensioners billions of pounds. Then they failed to uprate pensions by the real rate of inflation. So inflation is going up by 9%, pensions only going up by 3%. This is a wholesale Conservative attack on pensioners, and it's not right, it's not acceptable.
What about, we were chatting to the Mayor of Greater Manchester earlier on in the week, and he was talking about a universal basic income. Good idea?
Well, my party has looked at that, and we're going to produce our conclusions. There are quite a few other alternatives. And in the short term, of course, it couldn't be introduced. In the short term, you need to look at things like the warm home discount, universal credit, the winter fuel allowance, and this VAT tax cut. These are the measures that Liberal Democrats want to do, and they're the ones we're focusing in on.
Talk to me about, I think it's going to be the 23rd of June for the next by-election. That's what we're being told, not yet confirmed. I'm sure that we'll hear about that later on today. Hearing more about a Lib-Lab pact. Is that on the cards?
Absolutely not on the cards, and it's not happening. What we're doing in the Tiverton and Honiton by-election is talking about issues that matter to people in that area. And they're quite similar, actually, to the issues in North Shropshire, a by-election where we beat the Conservatives last December, a seat the Conservatives held for 200 years. And we saw lifelong Conservatives fed up of Boris Johnson, feeling taken for granted by the Conservatives, switching to the Liberal Democrats. And they were switching because of the health service. You know, difficulty getting appointments with GPs, sort of too few GPs, long waits for ambulances that are getting delayed because the Conservatives have failed to manage our ambulances properly. And then the cost of living, that really is coming up on the doorsteps already. And there's a rural dimension to that, Kay. In many rural areas, the key thing that people depend on for heating their homes is heating oil and LPG. These are two types of heating sources that aren't regulated by Ofgem. There's no price cap on them. And the prices for heating oil and LPG have gone through the roof. So rural households, including rural pensioners, people in rural poverty, are really being hit because the government's just ignored them, taken them for granted. So Liberal Democrats will be talking about health, we'll be talking about the cost of living, and we'll be talking about farmers who, as I raised with the Prime Minister yesterday, are absolutely being betrayed by the Conservatives. We need the farmers to help families and pensioners with the cost of living, with the cost of putting food on the table, but the Conservatives are making it more difficult for farmers to play that role.
I mean, we've been here all week. We've been hearing about the livelihoods and lifestyle of the people here in Wigan and the greater northwest region. Why, you did really well in the local council elections, of course. Why do you think you don't cut through in regions like this?
Well, I think we increasingly are cutting through. I mean, in the last 12 months, it's been really clear that the Liberal Democrats are the main challengers to Conservatives in many parts of the country. We had the by-election victory in True Blue Buckinghamshire, Cheshire and Amersham. We had the by-election victory that I talked about a minute ago in North Shropshire. And our local election results across the country, from Cumbria to Somerset, from Hull against Labour to many other parts of the country, they were the best of any political party. So I think people are listening to the Liberal Democrats. We're listening to them. We're listening to their concerns. And I think they like the fact that there's a party that is taking up their concerns with constructive, positive alternatives. The Conservatives are just taking them for granted, ignoring them.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Sir Ed. Talk to me about what's going on with the culture of the Palace of Westminster at the moment. 50-odd MPs are presently being investigated. One has been arrested on allegations of rape, and yet still he hasn't had the whip removed. Should that happen? And also, we were speaking to Labour yesterday, they were saying that it needs to be a more rigorous selection process. What do you think?
I think it is utterly shocking. There are some MPs who are behaving outrageously and wrong, and they need to be punished. Your viewers, if they behaved in their workplaces in the way that some MPs are behaving, they would lose their jobs. And of course, the whip should be removed. It shouldn't even be a question. Now, you know, he can be suspended. You know, if there needs to be a due process. I believe in the process of law. But in the meantime, during these investigations, these extremely serious allegations, of course, the whip should be removed. And I can't believe the Conservatives are yet again dragging their feet when one of their own has broken the law. This is becoming a theme. And maybe it's because the Prime Minister breaks the law and lies about it and gets away with it. It's a Prime Minister who's created a culture, particularly in the Conservative Party. And this is setting a very bad example for the country, for our young people. And the Prime Minister, frankly, you know, Kay, I've called for him to resign. But I don't believe he's a decent person. He's not a decent person to be the Prime Minister of our great country. And I think true patriots would want him to go. So this whole culture, it rots from the top sometimes. A fish rots from its head. And I think if we got rid of the Prime Minister, it would be a big step forward in beginning to address some of these problems.
So just to clarify, you're suggesting that it's a culture from the Prime Minister downwards within the Conservative Party, within the government, which means that some feel, allegedly, that it's okay to behave in what is not a satisfactory, in any way, manner for the rest of the country.
I mean, individual MPs, individual people need to take responsibility for their wrongdoing. Let's be clear. However, if you have a culture from the top where law breaking is seen to be okay, you'll get people away with it. I mean, let me give you another example. There's so many. The Home Secretary, Priti Patel, was found guilty of bullying her staff by the independent advisor on ministerial standards, who recommended action should be taken. The Prime Minister refused to act against his Home Secretary, despite the fact there'd been an independent inquiry that she had bullied her staff. She's still in place. And at least the independent advisor on ministerial standards had the decency to resign because the Prime Minister failed to follow those recommendations. So this is why I say this Conservative Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, is not fit to lead our country. He breaks the law. He allows his mates to get away with...
Joining us on the programme. Yeah. Sorry, Sir Ed, we must leave it there. Sorry again to interrupt. Thank you for joining us on the programme this morning.
Thank you very much.
Continuing our coverage live here in Wigan, we're at the Wigan Warriors training ground this morning, the gym to be more precise. And as you can see, some of the academy players are in early this morning for us. We'll be seeing some of the women training as well, and then the first team will be joining us a bit later on. Even a walk down memory lane for me when one of the Wigan Harriers, I used to run for Wigan Harriers, 100, 200, first leg of the relay, a very long time ago. We'll be talking to her as well a bit later on. But something that is always on the mind of many people here in Wigan at the moment is the rising cost of gas and electricity. It's pushed energy prices to record levels. And while some families have been forced to choose between heating and eating, for others, switching off could be the difference between life and death. Katerina has more.
Open the curtains.
So
Show them where your oxygen is.
When Alex was born, his mum was told he wouldn't live beyond a week. He is now a thriving 16-year-old, but needs near constant support. At night, an oxygen machine keeps him alive. During the day, a pump provides vital food, water and medicine.
Just let me swap your feed round, please, first.
Everything is run off batteries and mains power. Bills just go up and up.
I would probably say an extra £300 a month, just in household bills and things. For Alex, it's a case of life and death, obviously, because he's on his oxygen machine overnight. So if we couldn't literally afford to pay those bills, then I don't know what would happen.
This is the stark situation faced by families with sick and disabled children at home. As energy prices rise, they simply can't unplug.
It worries me for the future as to if things do get worse, how will it affect us as a family? What do we do, kind of thing? Because it's all very well and good somebody coming and saying, go and get an extra job or do this and do that, but Alex alone is a full-time job. I feel like it's a constant battle with a child with a disability, and it never stops.
A battle in what sense?
Sorry.
That's okay. It's incredibly hard.
Sorry.
Much needed respite comes from here. This centre was set up by Emma and other local parents. It's been entirely built and funded by the community.
It's support at the end of the day, and there's not much of it around, at the minute.
It doesn't do me any good staying in the house and
No.
being with you all the time.
No.
Even though I do love you very much, it's still not going to do me any good.
These children and their families dearly need this help. They worry as prices rise and budgets tighten, it will become harder to find.
You have any questions? Come behind the DJ booth.
Katerina Vitozzi, Sky News in Wigan.
Still in the training gym, and I'm honoured to have the former captain from Wigan Warriors, Sean, is with us. Hiya.
Hello,
when did you stop?
2 years ago now.
Okay.
2 seasons ago.
Okay, and you were in the final?
Yeah, I finished, not quite on a high, finished in the grand final, lost to St Helens, but...
to St Helens?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's lovely talking to you.
Yeah, but no, finished a great career and really enjoyed myself, and didn't quite get the win, but it was great 20 years.
Yeah, and just to, I'm obviously joking, but St Helens is the big rival, isn't it? Just down the road.
Yeah, just over Billings Hill, so it's really intense rivalry, but a lot of good friends over there as well, and I think the community being so close to each other against St Helens, there's a lot of rivalry, people in work and all over the town as well.
Yeah, so you're a bit of a superstar, really, as far as Wigan is concerned.
Maybe in Wigan.
Yeah, 20 years, though, it's amazing.
Yeah, very, very long time. I was lucky enough to have a long career and play and work with a lot of good people, so yeah, I've been very lucky.
Yeah, it's quite a community-minded, very much a community-minded club, isn't it?
Yeah, very much. I think everything we do within the playing side of things and the people coming watching, it's all about kind of entertaining the locals, and a big part of our team culture is bringing academy players through, and a lot of our team is made from people who are from Wigan, who grew up in Wigan, our local areas. So yeah, the community means a lot to the club, and this place at Robin Park, it's really helped with that.
This is a posh gym.
Yeah, very posh, very posh. It's I think we've been here now for 3 or 4 years, and it's grown. We've added to it, and it's just been a brilliant facility, not just for us as a club, but I think for people outside coming in and using it as well. It's a fantastic facility.
And how much of a challenge is it for the local community here? As we're talking about the cost of living crisis, inflation, I'm sure you saw yesterday went up to 9%. It's tough. Wiganers are proud, but it's tough to get by.
Yeah, 100%, and you know and you hear people feeling their pinches every day. Wigan's obviously a very working class town, proud people, and yeah, you hear stories of people having to use food banks and things like that, and it's a very much sign of the times. I think one thing we do is we support kind of the local brick charity, which is.
We went there yesterday.
Yeah, all right, brilliant.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a real good time we've had with them, and yeah, you see some and hear some stories what are quite upsetting.
Yeah, it certainly is. What about the cost of tickets, though? You know, people, is this one of the first things that might go?
Very much it could do. I know it means a lot to a lot of people, the rugby and the football, and it's a big part of kind of people go to work every day, so it's a big part of the enjoyment factors and what they do outside of work. So yeah, for people to have to make a decision not to come to games or kind of miss games, people who will have to go to away games, to not be able to have the opportunity to do that, it's tough.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
Yes, you too.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Really,
much.
can I go and chat to some of the girls? Is that okay? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Hi, ladies. Rachel and Georgia. Yeah. You are? Rachel. Rachel, hi. So tell me, you play for the ladies' team? Yeah. Both of you? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Talk to me in a bit more detail about can I get you to then we can just see, and the camera's just here, so if you just turn around then we can see your beautiful faces, ladies. Thank you. So tell me what positions you play and how important it is both to you and to your families to be playing for Wigan Warriors. The ladies are still called Warriors, are they?
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah. I play centre or half back. I'm just injured at the moment, so I've not played yet this season.
What injury have you got?
I've had my ACL reconstructed.
Oh, my son had that done. Yeah. That's horrible, isn't it? Yeah. Wow. You okay now, though? Getting there. Slowly does it. Yeah. A lot of bike work.
Yeah. A lot of rehab. But yeah, he's good, and obviously I'm from Wigan, so it's a massive honour to play for the club.
Okay.
Yeah, and I play wing or centre. At the minute, I'm playing full-back. I'm not originally from Wigan, but...
I can tell.
Yeah. But everything I learned about rugby league has been at Wigan, so my family have now got this connection with Wigan, and they're massive supporters and watch all the men's games and watch us, and they love every minute of it.
Okay, and are the men very supportive of the ladies' team?
Yeah, definitely. I think they are. They come and ask us questions about training, not afraid to come and say hello to us when we're here, and they're really interested in what we do.
Yeah. And what do the lads say when you're out and about in Wigan and you say, oh yeah, I play for Wigan Warriors? They must be like, ooh, okay, not taking you long.
Yeah. It was a lot of that all tackle me.
Yeah. Not corny at all. And how often do you have to train?
Twice a week? Yeah, so we train twice a week with the women's team, and then we play on a Sunday.
Lovely. Good to talk to you, ladies. Thanks very much. I'll let you carry on training. Hopefully you're back on the pitch soon enough. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's just move this way, should we? And as you can see, some of the young academy guys are still training over there. Watch this cable as you go, Adam. And we will be chatting to them a bit later on when the first team come in as well. And also they also have a fantastic disabled section to the community and the club as well, and we'll have more on that. Wigan, apart from being known for Wigan Warriors, is also known for its pies. We're called pie eaters. We're better than to send Inzi to a pie shop. Hi, Inzi, good morning.
Morning, Kay. Couldn't leave Wigan without going to a bakery, and the most famous bakery in Wigan, the Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man? I know the Muffin Man. We're here at the Muffin Man Bakery, and we're going to chat to two of the hardest working people that I've seen on our trip so far. Let's take you to Neil firstly, who's been working incredibly hard this morning. Neil, we're here talking about the cost of living crisis, but firstly I just want to talk to you a bit about the work you've been putting in this morning. What time did you get in? What have you been up to?
We got up at 1:15 this morning. Myself and my wife, we drive to the other shop at Shevington, soon my wife gets out there, we sort out some paperwork, then I come down here usually about 2:30, and then we meet later in the afternoon.
And you've been putting rolls in, getting rolls out. How many do you reckon you'll be making today? How many bits of bread you'll be making?
I think today it's probably about 3,000, 3,000 to 3,500 bread rolls. Will be going out today. And then we've got all the pies that the lads are making in the back, as you've seen before.
And a lot of pies as well.
A lot of pies, yeah.
And what's your speciality here? I think you recently made a new one as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we made a steak and ale pie that I was buying the ale from the wholesalers, and then I saw the Wiley Fox Brewery up in Martham Mill, and I went to speak to them there, and they were really helpful, and they said, yeah, they'll supply us with a stout for the pie. So we made that, and then the lady who owns the brewery rang us this week saying the stout is coming to an end, so next week, or the week after, I think, we're going on to a different ale with her recommendations.
Neil, this is a family business, 3 generations. You guys have been here for 35 years. Just tell us what life has been like over the last few months as a Wigan business.
The biggest thing we've had is buying things in. The costs, like flour has gone up like 30%. It's getting older stock as well. We're up to about 2 months ago, we had massive problems with foils for the pies. You know, we put the pies in, and we struggled. We had to swap what pies were going in the foils because we didn't have the correct foils in, and we noticed a massive increase in their prices. And it's going to get worse. You know, the governor of the Bank of England, he's quite right in what he said. You know, we've been told by July of this year, sugar alone is going to go up 60%. You know, and everything is moving. Eggs, there's a shortage of milk. I read this morning, the dairy producer Arla, they're saying there's going to be a shortage, massive. And it's not that long ago, they were poor farmers were pouring milk down the drain.
It sounds like a worry for you with the times ahead. We're going to chat to the real boss now. We'll let you carry on. I don't want any of the bread to burn, so we'll let you keep an eye on that. And we'll swing round to Sue, the real boss over here, I believe. You're up early as well, working away in one of the other stores. Just tell us what life's been like for you and working in the shop and seeing the cost of living crisis deepen, particularly in an area like Wigan.
Yeah, it's been really hard. The prices hasn't made a massive difference, but the shortages has been more difficult. Raspberry jam, for example, is out of stock at our wholesalers at the minute. You can't do a jam and cream ice sandwich cake without the jam.
You can't do that, no.
So we've had to source it elsewhere, which is virtually triple the price.
In terms of the customers, what have people been saying to you when they come through the doors? You've had to adjust your prices a bit. What have people said?
You do get a little bit of moaning, but in general, everyone's experiencing the same thing, aren't they? So people might not like to pay more, but they all know that it's everywhere, isn't it? Across the board, wherever you go.
What's the favourite thing you do here, Sue? Is it a pie or is it something sweet?
Well, I do all the sweet stuff where I am, so brownies, that's one of the really popular things.
Yeah, sweet stuff made by a sweet person. Sue, thank you so much indeed. 2 hard-working people at the Muffin Man Bakery, but of course, just like everyone else, they too are worried about the future. The rising prices mean it could be a struggle for this business as well.
OK, Inzi, for now, make sure you bring me one of those pies back, please. Meantime, the CBI business body has called on the government to step in and take action to help struggling households. The CBI's chief economist, that's Rain Newton-Smith, is with us now. Hi, Rain. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. I hope you don't mind me using your first name. Can you tell me what the CBI is laying out today?
Yeah, look, I think as we've just seen on this programme, it's really tough for households at the moment and for businesses as well. We're seeing inflation at 9% for households and across the manufacturing sector, just that rising cost of inputs has been reaching 20% in recent months. And so we know we've got a really tough year ahead. And I think what we want to see is some really targeted help for the most vulnerable in society. It's just not acceptable. We have a situation where 500,000 households in the UK are having to choose between heating their homes or putting food on the table. So we do need to see some targeted support for the very poorest and most vulnerable in our society. But more importantly, the way of seeing increasing standard of living over time is to really keep investment flowing in our economy, help those small businesses be able to invest in people, to keep people in jobs. And so for that, we need the Chancellor to set out the best incentives we can on capital allowances. He's been prepared to be bold in the past, but we do need to see some more targeted action at low-income households, and importantly, extending the loan schemes that are available for small businesses to make it through this year, which we know is also going to be very tough for businesses.
What about the small business scene? We've been chatting to a lot of small businesses, business owners here in Wigan over the last few days. I don't know if you've managed to catch any of our coverage. And they are really struggling. Many of them are on the brink of collapse. What support can be offered to them?
Well, during the pandemic, we had a really ambitious loan scheme, and that's still in place. We have the recovery loan scheme, but we need that scheme to be extended to the end of the year. I mean, as we heard from that Muffin Man bakery, if you look at the costs that they're facing and what they see coming down the track, we know that this is about fuel, but it's also about the cost of food, about the inputs into those small businesses. So they need to be able to reach for a loan scheme and keep that in place till the end of the year to help them through what will be a really tough time. We know small businesses are a really important source of jobs in local communities. So it's really important that we keep them going and that we make it easy for them to keep investing. And that's about the incentives we put in place for investment. It's providing some of that targeted support to low-income households. And it's about having these mechanisms in place where smaller businesses can reach for when times get tough.
Is it the CBI's view that we're heading towards recession?
Look, whether we see a recession or just a few quarters or hopefully not much longer than that of really weak growth, I think that is absolutely on the cards. With inflation at the levels we're seeing right now, we know that that is already starting to slow growth in our economy. And what we need to do is to learn the lessons from previous recessions. We're fortunate coming into this that unemployment is really low, so we need to keep people in jobs, but we really need to make sure that businesses keep investing in people, in skills. We need a more flexible system around how we help businesses invest in training. The Chancellor has promised that, but we need to see firmer commitments, and we need to see that happening on capital allowances. He's been prepared to be bold. We have a super deduction which gives 130% on businesses on their capital investment, but that comes to an end next year. And at the same time, corporation tax is going up to 25%. We really need to see a successor announced now to that capital allowance, a permanent deduction at 100%, so those businesses out there can keep investing and keep people in jobs, and so that whatever we see coming down the track, it's short-lived, and we see growth and productivity and living standards rising again.
Okay, so just to clarify, what needs to happen for us not to fall into recession?
I think we need to see some more targeted action from the Chancellor now to really help low-income households. I don't think we're in the stage where we need to see the massive injections of cash that we saw during the pandemic. Part of the reason for that is if we saw that really big stimulus to aggregate demand right now, it would just make inflation worse. As we saw from that muffin producer, it's really hard to get supply, and if supply can't keep up with that strong demand, will make some of these inflationary pressures worse. So it really is about targeted spending for those who are really suffering, and then that focus on the long term, on investment and training for the long term. That's how we'll get the right balance between demand and supply and avoid inflation spiking again and some of the crises we're facing in so many households across the country at the moment.
Just before I let you go, this was something that happened at your conference just a few months ago. Let me remind my viewers.
The true driver of growth is not government. It is the energy and dynamism and originality of the private sector. And Tony, yesterday I went, as we all must, to Peppa Pig World. don't know if you've been to Peppa Pig World. Hands up anyone who's been to Peppa Pig World?
Me, but I'm not the Prime Minister. References to Peppa Pig, the way that the Prime Minister dealt with Peppa Pig and making engine noises at your conference, is he absolutely the right person to lead us as far as small business and medium-sized businesses are concerned?
Look, I'm not going to comment on that. I haven't had the good fortune of being at Peppa Pig World. I have to say my daughters would be much more interested in seeing the Wigan ladies play. They're a much bigger fan of women's football. I think what the Prime Minister at that time was trying to articulate, maybe he didn't do the best job of articulating it, is just that what we need to see in our economy is some of the investment in creative industries. We are so successful in some of the TV programs we export around the world, in higher education, when you think about the medicines, the vaccines we've developed in the world. It's really important that we keep investment flowing so we can create jobs in all of our communities, whether that's jobs at our local football club and local bakeries or larger businesses that are exporting around the world.
Okay, you're good, Rain. You're very good pivoting that one. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on the programme. Thank you.
Thank you.
Still to come on the programme for you this morning, last day of Wigan, with hospitality industry still reeling from the impact of the pandemic. I'm going to be speaking to Wigan's longest licensee about how the industry will deal with the cost of living crisis. Just after 8, joined here by the MP for Wigan and Shadow Levelling Up Secretary, that's Lisa Nandy. But before that, some other news here on the programme, and 2 more Russian soldiers will face a hearing in Ukraine for war crimes later on today. The first Russian soldier to be tried for war crimes in the conflict went on trial in Kiev yesterday. Meanwhile, more Ukrainian soldiers have been evacuated from the besieged Azovstal steelworks in Mariupol. They were travelling on buses tracked all the way by Russian armoured vehicles. Some of the fighters who emerged were seen accompanied by Moscow-backed separatists. Russia is threatening to put them on trial for war crimes. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia has now turned to laser weapons because of a lack of missiles. The largest ever free wellbeing programme in secondary schools is being launched today. It's aimed at tackling worrying trends in teenage suicide rates. Maddie standing by for us. Hi, Maddie, tell us more.
Hi, Kay. Yeah, so from today, secondary school pupils at state schools will be offered free mental health checks to tackle some, like you said, those really worrying mental health trends in young people. Suicide rates have gone up at 45% over the last 10 years. So this is a way, hopefully, of early identification of problems, which is so key in treating them. And I'm joined now by I'm joined with now with the founder of the programme, Richard. Can you tell us why you launched this and what you're hoping to achieve with it?
Yeah, thank you. GoVox was founded back in 2018 following the sad loss of a number of young people to suicide, really with the mission to make sure that people that need support are connected effectively and efficiently to the brilliant support that's available. So over the last 4 years, that platform's growing massively and it's got to the point where we're able to roll out to schools for free in the UK, because 75% of mental health problems in adults are actually started when they're young. So working on the principle that the sooner we can catch those students and focus on their happiness, engagement and connectivity, then the better and healthier society will be moving forward.
Thank you. And so from today, secondary schools can sign up to this programme, which will hopefully go live from September.
OK, Maddie, thank you. Now, it was a night of heartbreak for Rangers fans in Seville as their team fell agonisingly short in the Europa League final, losing on penalties. Tom is there for us this morning. Hi, Tom.
Yeah, they spent every ounce of energy, both the players and the fans here in Seville last night, and it just wasn't to be. They went toe-to-toe with a very good Eintracht Frankfurt side, but Rangers, as you say, lost on penalties. The story of the night, well, Rangers forward Joe Aribo put them ahead in the second half, and that sent the Rangers fans who were here en masse into complete raptures. But within 10 minutes or so, the Germans were back level with their Colombian forward, Rafael Borre, who got himself between the Rangers defence and through on goal and drew things level and sent it to the very last kicks of this competition. It was penalties again and German efficiency that just had the edge over Glaswegian graft. The fall guy was Aaron Ramsey, the Welsh international. He missed his penalty. There were big fears that this would descend into violence in Seville last night, but there was nothing. It was very few isolated incidents, and Rangers emerged from this adventure with a great deal of credit.
OK, for now, thank you. Also making news for you, the legal teams for Colleen Rooney and Rebecca Vardy will deliver their closing arguments today as the multi-million-pound libel trial comes to an end. Ms Rooney is being sued for defamation by Ms Vardy after accusing her of leaking private stories to the media, which Ms Vardy denies. A judgment is expected at a later date. And on the latest leg of their royal tour in Canada, Prince Charles and Camilla have been urged to face up to Britain's colonial past and its treatment of Indigenous people. Despite being met with cheering crowds, they've also been met with protests against the visit. Obviously, more on that throughout the course of the day here on Sky News. But we've been here in Wigan for 4 days now. We've been to all sorts of places, just to take the temperature, really, of how the people in this good town, my hometown, feel about the cost of living crisis, as you can see today. Hi, guys. Morning, 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 morning. They're quiet, they're not this quiet when they're on the field, trust me. We're at the Wigan Warriors training ground. Just watch that, Adam, as you go by. And we'll be hearing from the first team a little bit later on. They have got a game on Saturday and then a big game the following Saturday. Tell you more about that. But also, we went to Beach Hill Primary School, which was my old school. It's been significantly rebuilt since I was first there, but it was great to spend some time with the kids. The teachers told them afterwards that I used to go to the school, and then they contacted us yesterday to say that they've been doing some projects about Skye and Beach Hill more generally, etc. And so what we thought we'd do is big reveal. We thought we'd invite them back. Hello, come in, 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 come in. And here they all are. Hello, coming in, coming in. Hi, teacher. Hi, teachers. Coming in. Let's go over this way, guys. Let's go over here, and then there's room for everybody. Here we go. About here. Tell me what you've got. All this way, facing this camera, guys. Round we come, quick as you can. That's the way. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Tell me what you've got. Picture of me. How good is... I wish my hair was that lovely. Thank you. Let me look at yours as well. Who are you?
I'm Kid.
Oh, yeah, I remember you. And you are?
Freddie.
I like that, Freddie, as well. And have we got another one? Who's this?
Amelia.
Amelia, I remember you as well. And I remember your lovely hair. Who else have we got here?
Amelia. Robin. Lydia. Chris. Connor.
Excellent. So tell me, guys, about coming a little bit closer, and then we can see you all. Maybe come a little bit closer. Just coming in, Amelia, at the end, and then we can hear you on our microphone. So tell me how you felt about Skye coming to your school for the day.
I felt really excited.
Excited? Yeah. Was it that, or was it the fact that Krusty the Pie came along a bit later on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's me put in my place. And what about you? What did you enjoy about us coming to see you? Are you a prefect?
Yeah.
Oh, head boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I say. Go on, tell me.
So the best thing was that you got to come round and everyone got a chance to speak up and have their turn of speaking, and yeah, so everyone got the chance to do something.
Yeah, everybody had a chance to say something. Who else wants to chat to us?
Chris.
Chris? Where's Chris? There he is. Come on, Chris. Squeezing in, ladies. There we go, Chris.
I felt excited about it and
Did you?
happy.
Did you?
Yeah.
What made you happy about it?
That it was just an opportunity to, someone to come in to our school and do something fun.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to chat to us? Yep. Young man, what's your name?
Freddie.
Freddie, go on.
It was just interesting because you don't just have a regular day at school and then just at the end of the day here there's a news station coming over. It was interesting and kind of neat just to think about what was going to happen, and then the day came and it was just fun.
Excellent. Who else? Does anybody else want to have anything to say before I let you all go? At the end, yeah. What's your name?
Finn.
Finn, I love your hair, Finn. Go on.
It was interesting to see how it's how the news is filmed.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, do you? I don't know if Adam can show what happens behind the scenes so we can see some of the other camera work that's going on at the moment, because people don't always see that side of things, do they? Any of you want to go into telly? You all want to go into... Yeah, all want to go into telly. Yeah. Say again?
Football, so basically on telly.
Exactly. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. You've got to go back to class now. Sorry about that. Maybe we'll come and see you again next year. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Oh, OK. Well, wherever you're going, I'll come and find you. How does that sound? It's lovely to see you guys. I'm going to have to carry on with the show, as they say. But it's lovely to see you. I know that we've got transport to get you back to school. Oops, sorry. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Well, joining me now is heptathlete for Wigan Harriers, Danielle McGifford, and I think she's this way, so let's go and find her, should we? Hi, Danielle. Hopefully you're through here. There she is. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Wigan Harriers.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Heptathlete.
You've not got your kit on.
I've not, no, because it's a little tiny top. I didn't think yeah, I've been here for...
We can walk that way as we're going. Go on.
Been here for 15 years now.
Have you? Yeah. OK, what's your disciplines?
Heptathlete.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now, that is properly hard stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can see this, but the viewers at home can see. There's a picture of me with my sister when we were training for Wigan Harriers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did really, really well, it has to be said. I was the 100, 200 first leg of the relay and the javelin, and my sister was 800 and 1500.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's... Although Wigan Warriors and Wigan Athletic are a big deal here in the town, Wigan Harriers are too.
Yeah.
And we have some big stars, haven't we?
Oh, definitely. Like, we've had many Olympians. Past few years, we had Harry Coppell, Emily Borthwick. Obviously had Jenny Meadows, and like there's more in the past as well. So we're a great club, great history.
How important is it for kids to get involved with sport?
Massively. I mean, athletics especially. Like I find it's like the fundamental sport. To be honest, if you want to go into rugby, if you want to go into football, you have to be able to run.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that kids from a really young age get involved with athletics and use the fundamentals, running, jumping, and throwing.
OK. And what would you say to those who suggest that, you know what, I can't run, it's just too hard. I'd rather watch it on the telly.
Everyone can run.
Can they, though?
Everyone can run, yeah.
OK. How do you start?
There's all sorts of ways to get
involved.
involved.
There's that couch to 5K
Yeah, exactly.
thing,
So there's the couch to 5K, there's just getting out for a walk. You get out for a walk, you then think, you know what, maybe I could get out for a run for a little bit. And I think everyone can start somewhere.
Okay.
It's definitely something that's accessible to everyone. And I think that was seen in lockdown as well.
Yeah.
I think you found far more people on the roads running and things like that. And I think the park runs and everything, they've like increased massively over the past few years with obviously COVID and everyone deciding to go out for a run.
Yeah, OK. Well, I've broken my foot, otherwise I'd give you a race. I would have. It's lovely to see you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Do you want to rush off? Go on, give it a good run. There you go. How impressive. Heptathlete, how good is that? Well, hundreds of Wiganers and prisoners have been helped into long-term employment here in the town. They've been guaranteed jobs, it has to be said, as part of a housing project. And the company behind it has even received royal recognition. To tell us more about it, joined by the CEO of Procure Plus Holdings, and that is Mike Brogan. Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. Tell me more.
Good morning, Kay. Yes, we started off our factory in Wigan, in Hindley, HMP Hindley, probably about 5 years ago now. But the story of our business goes back further than that's about 15, 20 years. And it's all about improving the life chances of people. Interesting, the education guy you had on before was saying a similar thing. And it's a matter of trying to get at people at an early stage. Obviously, by the time they're in Hindley, it's a little bit too late for that, but that's not to say that we can't do something about it and get people back on track. And that's what it's about, really. Our business is very much around working with housing associations, local authorities. We pretty much help them do their capital improvements. We buy stuff for them, sell it back to them, and then we make a margin and put that money back into the communities where the work was going on. And Wigan is one of our big customers, so we do a lot of work in Wigan Youth Zone and indeed Hindley Prison.
Mike, we were chatting to a youngster yesterday, a young guy yesterday, and he was telling me that he, in these tough times, he's really concerned about kids turning to street crime and gang crime. How concerned are you about that, and what can we do about it?
Very concerned about it. And one of the things we found when we went into Wigan and a number of other prisons, we work with lots of prisons, is that nobody there wants to be there. You know, you can't get an 8-year-old imagining that's where I want to be when I'm 23. It just doesn't happen. But it does happen, unfortunately. You know, it doesn't happen in their head, but it happens in reality. So we do need to do something about it. And it's all around equality of opportunity and trying to do the prevention. So at the moment, we're catching people when they've been through the system, and we're trying to help them. And we do help them actually move on and get a job. It's sad that 60% of the people that leave prison end up back within a matter of months. On our arrangements, the factory we have, it's down to 6%, so it's obviously a huge reduction. Yeah. But that's dealing with things.
Leave it there, I'm sorry, because we're out of time, but it's really good to talk to you this morning. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on the programme. Thank you, thanks a lot. Coming up in the next hour of the programme, we'll be bringing you more from here at the Robin Park Arena and the training stadium. And I don't know if you can just whiz that way really quickly, Adam, to show the kids are enjoying their day here as part of the community.